Welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button. Today we have Trent from the Miami Heat Network and Top Notch. We have Amir from Team to Beat Miami Heat. David and Ray, please plug your social media channels or anything that you guys want to plug so that the people can find you.
At Ray5893, that's my main account, and at PlaybookSNBets. That is our betting account for the Playbook Nation, where we, make a whole lot of money, do a whole lot of things. And at PlaybookSN. David, I don't know what you got for yourself, but go ahead.
At DFarrell15 at PlaybookSN is where we put most of our content out. So let's get it.
All right, so David and Ray, there's a lot of people right now screaming trade Bam, trade Bam, trade Bam. What is going on with Bam Adebayo? I think that this Miami Heat team is not really built for him at all. I think that they did him a huge disservice by not putting a decent four next to him that is not, or at least more than 6'5". And then also, too, he really has no legit backup center. Yeah, we have Khalil Ware and Kevin Love, but Kevin Love is very old, and Khalil Ware still needs some work. So what is going on with Bam Adebayo this season?
Go ahead, Ray.
Look, I scream about it in our spaces all the time, and I think you kind of talked about it already. This is not a roster construction for Bam. There is nobody to initiate the offense besides Bam if Jimmy's not there. I love everything Tyler's doing, but in the grand scheme, you want Tyler operating off ball as the secondary playmaker. There's nobody there to play defense besides Bam. Jimmy is now basically an average defender to maybe above average. You have Haywood Highsmith, who's in and out of the rotation, and then that's it. You don't have anybody to rebound. The next tallest person behind Bam is that's usually on the court is Kevin Love. And Kevin Love can jump 2 feet off the ground. Everything is centered around Bam do this for us. But if Bam has to do literally every single thing on the court, something is going to lack somewhere. It's just how basketball works. If I drag him out to the 3-point line, guess what? Underneath, there's going to be somebody a lot taller than the next tallest person on the court for the Heat that's going to be able to gobble up an offensive rebound and generate a second chance bucket or opportunity, at least, for the other team. If we let him rebound, well, guess what? Somebody's out at the perimeter getting torched. There's nothing for Bam to win. He's having a bad season. I get that, but this team is not built for Bam to succeed. This team is built so Bam can make everybody else succeed. What up, Van Lee?
Yeah, and to chime in on Ray's point, obviously made a lot of good points there. Another thing too is it's all about the defense with Bam at this point right now, considering that his offensive repertoire has taken a dip. I think the defensive side is where he hangs his hat on. You can tell just by the offensive rating with him on the floor compared to him off the floor. It's a substantially different team. Really disgusting, if you will. But in general, I think that's where Bam hangs his hat on. The rebounding, it's really hard for you to ask a guy to either, to Ray's point, defend a guy out from the 3-point line, or when he is defending the drives, and he's contesting shots, to all of a sudden get back and just grab a rebound right away. It's just not sustainable. It happens sometimes, you get that quick hop step right off the ground and you can grab yourself a rebound, but most of the time it's unrealistic. You're going to be out of the picture, and that gives other teams second chance points, second chance rebounds, and those are the problems for Miami. Obviously, you have Kevin Love, Khalil Ware. You start Highsmith next to Bam for the most part, so you're losing size every single minute that Bam's on the floor. So that's really all you have. And for people that are talking about trade him and everything like that, I'm telling you right now, Bam Adebayo is a guy that you need on a championship roster, bar none.
Now we see that Pat Riley, came out and said that they're not trading Jimmy Butler. So, obviously that means that we're hoping that they're going to make some improvements going into the trade deadline. So players like, Malcolm Brogdon, Kelly Olynyk, Bruce Brown, Jordan Clarkson, they're now going for second round picks. And I really do think guys like Kuzma as well will go for a lot less when Dorian Finney-Smith went for 3 second round picks. So Amir, if you're trying to improve the roster, because remember, listen, a bunch of people might want Jimmy traded, but at the end of the day, we got to go with what the team is doing.
Hold up. My camera's just not working. I'm here. I have to go what they just said. I don't like none of what they just said. Bam Adebayo is a max player. I don't want to hear none of that excuses. The dude's making $51 million, $55 million, $59 million. I don't want to hear, oh, he got to do this. This is the NBA. He gets paid to do this. I see Anthony Davis dominate on the offensive end and dominate on the defensive end every single night or majority of the nights. Bam Adebayo was just averaging 20 plus points a game with 10 rebounds last year. This year, he's averaging 16 points a game. His efficiency is down from the 2-point percentage. His free throw attempts is down. You know what that tells me? Lack of attempts, but that's mainly because of him. He gets at the free throw line or at the mid, or he's passing it. He has no confidence or whatever it is. He doesn't shoot the ball. That's on Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo has plenty of nights and opportunities to shoot the ball, especially without Jimmy Butler in the starting lineup. You can say the offense isn't for him. That's cool. But when we need him offensively, he is not there. He is soft. He's a pillow. If you notice, every time the Miami Heat get in a brawl, where's Bam Adebayo? Where the hell is Bam Adebayo? I just see my dog Tyler Hero get banged the hell up by a man. Bam's over there. The other night, the other fight was a longer back in the season. He's doing the same thing. Terry Rozier, the smallest dude on the court. Jovic, have heart. I'm tired of this. Bam is soft. He is soft. He needs to get in the weight room. I'm tired of seeing Bam have 6'3" guards on him and he's fading away. That's not like, oh, because he's top. No, that's Bam. I don't want to hear none of that shit. So all that shit you saying is some valid, but also he's a max player at the end of the day, and we rely on him, and he's the future of this team. As soon as Jimmy Butler's gone, who are we relying on? Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo plays like this team ain't going nowhere for the next 20 years.
Can I push back on something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll push back with you probably. I probably have a similar opinion, but go ahead.
All right. So first things first, I understand the point of wanting Bam to go in there and curb stomp somebody. You never want your max player in the scrum, bar none. I like Terry in there. I'm glad Terry was in there because Terry had to find some work. I'm glad Jovic was in there because you don't make a lot of money. I never want Jimmy in those types of scrums. I don't want Tyler in those types of scrums, and I don't want Bam in those types of scrums. And
Exactly.
I'll say this much. Bam is having a terrible offensive year. I'm not taking that away from you. And he does do some very what's a good word to use here? Pussyfied things on offense. But at the same time, Bam has a lot of other intangibles that qualify him to be a max player. I understand that it's not a flashy max player and all max contracts are not created equal, but Bam is in fact a max player.
Exactly. He's still considered a top 25 player, one of the best two-way players in the NBA. It's market value. Like, he's going to get this on the other, like, whatever team he's on, he's going to get this. How many, I don't know, chat, I don't know if anybody knows this. How many max players are there in the NBA right now?
That
25, 30 players that have them, whatever. He deserves to have one. Yes, he's having a down year. Trent, he's only shooting less than one field goal than last season. It's not him not taking shots. It's the beginning of the season, his dog shit first 2 weeks where he was shooting like 30% in the paint. Like, his field goal percentage is incrementally getting up, but it's still 10 percentage points down. So one, he was just missing the field goals, but also at the beginning, the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the season, we were doing more of the 5-out motion. He was out more on the perimeter. Like, the team was trying to avoid the mid-range shot. They're trying to be more modern based on the math and shoot more free threes and get to the rack, right? So, I mean, you're not completely wrong, Trent, but it's Bam Adebayo. It's the roster construction where we weren't able to get that second player next to him and Jimmy, where he doesn't need to be the best second best scorer behind Jimmy. He should be the third best player on a championship team. Can he be the second best? Sure, if you pair him with Luka. If it's it's Luka, Bam, and someone else, right? But like, for this Miami Heat team, Bam needed to be that third option. We needed Dame, we needed a Mitchell, we needed a KD. We couldn't get it. So like, Bam, it is what it is. Go ahead, Trent.
Yeah, his 2-point efficiency is down. It's the lowest in
It
his
is.
career.
Mhm.
His
Yeah.
2-point attempts are down since 2019, 2020. His 2 points that the shots he shoots from the field are down, which is the lowest since 2018, 2019. I don't want to hear none of that shit. Be more aggressive, score a little bit more, and still do what you do on the defensive end. It's not that hard. You get paid $58, $60 million a year. We're complaining about Jimmy, who half-assed the whole season, and we're like, bro, he shouldn't get this paid. But Bam is getting damn near the same money as Jimmy, and he's not doing shit offensively. I don't care what he does defensively. We all know he's great at that. We know that. That's cool. Offensively, I need you to step up. You're not winning championships with Bam averaging 16 points a game and hardly shooting the ball. You see how bad this team struggles offensively if Tyler Hero ain't doing shit. We all know that. Terry Rozier is garbage. Duncan Robinson's inconsistent. Jaime can't shoot. You need your guy to step up and consistently score. It's not that hard to ask. Last year, he was averaging 20 and 10. This year, 16 and 9 is not acceptable. Simple as that.
Not winning if he's scoring 20 and 10 either. So what? I don't understand what's the
The
difference.
difference is
They're not winning with this roster
aggressive.
construction regardless of what he's
The
doing.
difference is you're being more aggressive. You're being more aggressive. Bam Adebayo this shit, like I said, if you're not listening, all his stats are down. Attempts. Every attempt is down. Free throw attempts, 2-point percentage attempt, all that is down. That means you're not shooting the ball.
His role has
He's
also
shooting
changed
less than one
from
field
last-
goal. It's
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say though, he's shooting 13.7 field goals attempts per game. Last year, 14.3. It's not like he's not shooting. You already made the point. His field goal percentage is freaking down. He was just missing bunnies. He was one of the worst scorers in the paint. That average has gone up significantly, thank God. Not the rest of the Miami Heat team. We saw Terry miss that wide open layup yesterday. We can get into that later, but he's being paid for defense, Trent. Like, it is what it is. It fucking sucks. I agree with you.
Bro, if I'm paying $58 million for defense, get the fuck out of here. And that's why this roster is constructed terrible, because you're talking about we're paying Bam for defense. Are you crazy?
Why are you yelling?
That's
No
not
one's
why.
yelling at you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, you take a deep breath, brother. That's not why they were constructed terribly. It's not because they're paying Bam that much money.
Bro, yeah. Don't tell me to take
Exactly.
a deep breath.
They drafted
What you
him.
talking about? This is my show. Listen, when I say shit, right? Yo, man, that's the dumbest shit you just said, bro. And you know it.
Which part?
We're paying Bam for defense.
They're paying Bam.
We're paying for him as an all-around player, but he's not Kevin Durant. He's not Donovan Mitchell. He's
Obviously,
not
he's
Dame.
not Kevin
he's not an elite.
Durant.
So we're paying him for rebounding, for facilitating, for his. Do you want to know his defensive rating when he's on the floor? 95.7. When he's off, 121.4. What does that tell you? He's one of the best defensive players in the NBA. He's a great rebounder. He can
Hold on, Trent.
So his only problem really with Bam is the offense, and like we said earlier, we all agree to that.
We agree.
He is not having a good offensive season. He has to be more aggressive. Jovic last night went in there and actually took advantage of his mismatches last night. It made me question what the fuck Bam is really doing sometimes, especially on the offensive end, because this year, like we are talking about, he's having a down year, and that's fine. Like it's long as he starts progressing as the season goes on, then we can talk about it then. But right now, he's not playing good. He's not being as aggressive as he did last season. And we're used to Bam starting off the season strong. Like every single season that, like for the last 5 years, this guy has started off the season strong, looked like potential all-star at the break. And after that, he kind of dips off. So right now, we're kind of getting the opposite, which is kind of weird. But at the same time, he's going to figure it out. And on top of it, when Jimmy gets back, usage goes everywhere, especially with Jimmy and Tyler on the court at the same time. Bam has to try to find his spots and his shots, but it's kind of hard to do with other guys taking up that usage as well. I know Jimmy's out right now, and Bam needs to do better, but you got to take that into consideration as well.
That's a good point. You brought that up. I'll let someone else jump in too. His usage rate, again, the first month of the season was super down compared to previous years as well, because Tyler's was going up. We're starting Terry and Tyler together. The Terry and Tyler looked good together for the first week, and then now we could talk about Terry, how detrimental he's been on this team. But his usage has been down. It is going up. He's number 2 behind Tyler Hero now, but that's a good point that you brought up. His usage has been down compared to previous years.
I just don't understand the thought process of it. And I'm not trying to attack you with this, because this is a lot of people that say this, Trent. It's not just you, but I don't understand how he's no longer deserving of a max contract in the first truly down year that he's had. Again, I understand the complaint. Please be more aggressive. I hate the fadeaways over the guys that are 6'3" too. I understand that, but you said it. Bam was averaging 20 and 10 last year, so he was deserving of it last year when we gave it to him. But now he's having a bad year, and suddenly everyone's like, "No, you're not a max player. You don't deserve it." And it's we've known Bam to play so much better than this for 8 years now, and so 25 games of him being mid, and suddenly it's no, you're not a max contract player, and it's I just can't agree to that, because there's 1,000 intangibles that Bam brings that somebody in the comments said it so many other centers cannot provide.
That's facts.
I just want to emphasize.
offensively, he's not AD. He's not Giannis. I understand that. I don't think he will ever be that. But like so much of what he does, like makes this team go round. Like we wouldn't have made it to the finals without Bam. No matter what Jimmy did, I promise you, we would not have done that. Like Bam is in fact a max player. I want him to play better. I'm with you, but I can't get with this. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Daryl. Go ahead.
No, I'm just listening. I agree with Ray.
Hi, Daryl.
Go ahead, Dave.
My boy's comfortable.
All right, yeah. So back to the original question, to the whole panel. Since, Pat Riley's claiming that he's not trading Jimmy Butler and that's not going to be happening, how are we going to improve this roster going forward? Like I said before, there's multiple players right now going for multiple second-round picks. Now, at least they're not first-round picks, but guys like Dorian Finney-Smith, Kyle Kuzma, they were going for first-round picks. Like if you guys can add one person to this roster, like who are we adding? Because obviously we need size, we need scoring, but especially we need a playmaker. So who are you guys thinking to add to this roster?
I mean, the choice I think that a lot of us would say is like De'Aaron Fox, but that's slowly beginning to slip away from our grasp. So I'm going to have to look towards a type of role player, and I think it's going to have to be more of a playmaker type of guy than it would be a big. I think if they're going to continue to play Ware and against at least second units, he plays solid, and Jovic, the Ware, Jovic, and Tyler minutes are good, then they'll run with that. So then go find me a secondary playmaker. So I've been big on Malcolm Brogdon. I understand he's not the healthiest of guys. I know there's people that are going to say Lonzo Ball. He's also out there, also not one of the healthiest of guys, but those are just two playmaking guards just off the top of my head I can think of.
Daryl, David?
I don't think anybody, to be honest with you. I think if they really go back into the Jimmy business, I don't really see much what you can do. I think they've gone on this young movement, and I think they're going to stay on it. I don't think they're going to leverage any more stuff to try to improve when Terry and Duncan become expirings next year. And to be honest with you, I don't really think they should, because you're not going to improve enough to make a difference, and then you're just going to over leverage your stuff again, and you're in the same spot. So when you want to make a move, you have nothing. I mean, whatever they add, are they winning a title? No. So then why do that? If they're not gonna move on from Jimmy is the only way to leverage, to get flexibility, to get picks, move something for something. If you're gonna stay in the Jimmy business, then you might as well just sit pat and freaking wait till you can move to next year, in my opinion, because you're not winning with whatever you're getting anyway.
So then this whole run is so pretty much when Jimmy gets back, what we're still going to be in the play-in tournament?
Yep.
Fighting for that sixth at the best. I mean, for the most part, I think that winning solves everything. So if Jimmy gets back and they start like winning some games, and I'm not talking about winning a game or two and then losing one, like this very inconsistent ride that we're on, that we've been on for the last 3 seasons of just starting out very mid. Like if they can start stringing together like 4, 5, like 6-game win streaks, like along the way, like that's going to start helping, especially when you're trying to get out of the play-in. Like, I don't know why this team is so like, they want to be in the play-in every single year. And right now with the East, the way it's looking, like, don't look now, bro, but the 76ers are climbing in those rankings. Like, and I'm not saying like, that they're going to come back and be a top 6 seed or whatever, but at the same time, like, there's other teams that are below you that are slowly creeping up. And if you're going to continue to be this inconsistent, you're going to still find yourself in the same exact predicament you've been in the last 2 years. So with the question, I really am with Daryl on this one. Like, I don't think they're really going to do anything, to be honest with you. And it's not to anybody's fault other than that front office and their bad asset management.
So then we can all agree then that they're going to move off Jimmy then going into next season. Fair to say? No? What you guys say?
I genuinely don't think they are. Like every time I ask about it and every time I hear something about it, it turns back into no, like they're gonna probably extend him, or at the very minimum, like at least this year, he's not going anywhere. In the offseason, they will very genuinely sit down and be like, all right, how do we make this work? Because I don't think the Heat want to get rid of Jimmy, and I don't think Jimmy actually wants to leave. Now, am I saying that is the correct decision? No, I am not. I think that they should part ways, figure something out, soft reset, full rebuild. I don't care. But from what I can tell, they're probably going to resign him.
What
I hate
what
it.
makes you think they'll extend him now when they didn't last year because he's going to be a year older? Pat said availability. He's already missed 10 out of the 30 games. Like he's only going to get older, miss more games. So I'm just curious because it can go a few ways, right? Like he might get a season-ending injury, and he's like, and it might last or go into next season. Like he can get an Achilles like Drew, which is like typically a longer healing period compared to ACL later in the season. If I was him, I would opt into that 52 million because your market has evaporated. But to your point, though, why do you think they would consider an extension now versus like negotiating a DeMar DeRozan type of deal? Like, hey, we'll maybe give you 3-4 years where you're making 30 million per year. You get like an extra year at like 100 million or whatever. Because we gave Kyle 3 for 90 at the same age. Give Jimmy 3 for 100, like where it's kind of like a descending contract. Like, do you see that as a possibility, or do you think it'll be more of an extension?
I think it'll be an extension because one of the things that through this entire thing I kind of figured was, if nothing else, the Heat did in fact kind of like, all right, let's try and gauge the market and at least see what Jimmy's worth. And if they chose not to, like, if they chose just to like gauge it and they were like, no, nothing is worth it, then his market's not going to get any better. I think it would be genuinely stupid for him to opt out of his contract or walk away next year because what is it? The Nets right now are, I think, the only team that can resign, that could just like outright be like, here, fine, go ahead, take this money. We'll sign you. I don't think they do that. That's not a contending team for him. There might be 2 or 3 other teams that shed some salary by the end of season or at the deadline to be able to do it, but I don't think they'll be contenders either. And Pat kind of talked about it. Look, he has a real hard time trading players. I think that the Dwayne thing kind of like they fixed that. But then at the same time, like, I don't think Pat wants to do that again. I genuinely think that they like Jimmy. I do think that when Pat was like, hey, you need to play basketball, this first 20-ish games really probably hasn't been like the greatest like experience. But if Jimmy turns around and comes out in what we have like 60 something games left, 55 games, like if he comes out in those in the back half of the season and really just turns it on in the way that we know Jimmy can, especially with Tyler, playing the way that he has, the Heat are the type of stand pat team to be like, okay, fine, we'll give you the extension. I don't think it'll be at the number that he is specifically asking for. I think it'll be a little bit more in the area that gives them some form of flexibility, some form of like wiggle room, so maybe they can go sign somebody else, or maybe at the end of his contract they can move him somewhere else and get rid of him. But I just don't see Jimmy parting ways with the Miami Heat. Like it's just something that, as long as I've been watching this whole thing go down, like there was a couple times they should have really traded him when he had actual true value, and they didn't do it. And you can't let him walk for nothing now. So the only thing left to do is keep him.
But I think that's the burning question. I think it boils down to Jimmy, right? I think what does he want? Because if he wants what's being reported as his max money, I don't think that's happening here. I think they will trade him.
Yeah, big time.
But I don't think he's going to settle for that. To be honest with you, I just don't think that's the type he is. So I think you're right. I think he should be in the 2 for 40 kind of thing, but 2 for 35, same thing Harden got. But I don't think he's going to take that. So I don't really think it comes down to the Heat. I think it comes down to Jimmy. What is he going to take? Because max money.
Well, should he take it?
And carry a team, because that's what you want. Like if you were going to move him to Houston or something, if you want that max money, then you have to lead and be that. But the problem is, I don't think Jimmy wants to be that anymore. I think that's why he does what he does. But that comes with a shorter term contract with a lower money. So at some point, he has to decide, what Jimmy Butler wants to be. And I think that will dictate whether he's traded or not.
Yo, Big Tone. Big Tone.
Yeah.
Yo, I see your name. Miami Heat going back
Can
to the
y'all
finals.
hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We hear you.
Okay,
Yo,
number
listen.
one. Okay, number one. You already know you a clown. You're a Bam clown. Let's get that out the way. Number two. Who is that over here talking about this year we ain't got no chance and all that bull crap we playing? Well, see, one thing about Big Tone now, I know you guys on here, you don't know me. Montel, Trent, and Eric, they know me. I've been on, and they know I'm diehard Heat. One thing about me, I put my money in with all these bums, whether it's the fans or the haters on Miami Heat. And that's with this core right here. All this clown talk in the chat and all this foolishness. I said it from the beginning of my stream, my podcast, in the beginning of the season. There's only two things I want. Well, actually one. Miami be healthy. I don't give a damn about nothing else. Miami healthy, I'm putting my money on Miami against any of them bums that all you think is better than Miami and the Boston Celtics and all these clowns. That's what I do. Y'all just talk with this foolishness with this Jimmy. All of a sudden now, the man that did what he done did, he's not worth no money. All these garbage ass players come in, get all this money, but Jimmy now ain't worth no money. Bam now, just like Ari made a good point. Now all of a sudden, Bam ain't worth no damn max because he had a bad game. Y'all, I don't know about you fans sometime, man. I really don't, bro. I'll say it again, man. Put your money up. Any of you on this panel who think Miami gonna be a play-in or Miami can't get nothing. Do y'all see the East? Miami, with what Miami going through now, with what Miami is going through now. Right now, what Miami going through.
No,
we
Big
still
Tone,
only 3 games out of damn third seed.
Hold on, Big Tone, because you can't do that. Don't come up on here talking about, do you see the Miami Heat? You're telling me this is probably the weakest that the East has ever been. Okay? And the Miami Heat can barely win games.
Okay.
The Miami Heat can barely win games without Jimmy Butler.
I disagree.
So what games are you watching?
But again, cool. But cool. They barely win games. All right, regular season. You know me. I don't give a damn about no regular season.
That's your problem.
Y'all know me. Especially
no. Hold on, Big Tone.
Neither does Miami.
Okay, don't worry about it. But I get back to, but outside of last year, hold on. Outside of last year, we had 4 or 5 damn injuries, major injuries. Of course, in the playoff, we wasn't gonna get nothing. We ain't had no damn body. But outside of that, even injured, we did more with injured rookie 7-11 players than all these so-called garbage ass superstars that y'all praise every damn year.
Can I play
we
devil's
did
advocate?
more with them. And every year y'all say the same thing. Man, yes, you can.
Yeah, let me play devil's advocate for you here real quick, because there's a part of me, because I'm a fan. I love the Miami Heat. I've been watching this since I was 12 years old. I'll be 32 in May. I'm with you on this. Just a little bit. If you get, first of all, you got to get some help. You do. You got to get a little bit of magic, like you got the year that Jimmy went fuck wild insane. But one of the things, and Daryl, you'll like this, Spo's gonna have to start playing some people differently. You're gonna have to play.
That's key, right?
You're gonna have to play. You're probably gonna have to play
That's
Jovic with Bam together. You're gonna have to find some size. You are gonna have to find some type of playmaker to insert into this roster, and you have to have a healthy and engaged Jimmy. And you can do a lot. You can make a lot of noise. And if you do everything right and you have some shit go your way, yeah, I'm with you. You can get back to the finals. You can do something. Now, you have to agree with me on this, though, Big Tone. You got to have a lot of fucking shit go right for this to happen. And as it stands right
Only
now,
thing
because
we have
also
to
like
go right. You know what we have to go right?
what?
You know what we need to go right?
Jimmy?
Supposed to stop keeping goddamn Terry Rozier out there when he ain't doing shit. Supposed to stop keeping Jaime Jaquez out there when he ain't doing shit.
You're on to something.
That's what got to go right. Supposed damn rotation. Supposed got to stop being Bam is the tallest player on the damn field at 6'9". Everybody else on our team 5'2".
This is my guy, right?
Expect them to have deal with 7-footers and 6'11". That's what the hell got to go right. I will take this team over any of these god bums in the East and the West. This team right here, if only Spo do what the hell he's supposed to do. So I'm not. I say it again. Y'all guys knew. Trent and Montel already know me. I'll take these guys. Only one again. This was my two thing. Spo doing the right rotations and health. Give me Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler and health. And Spo doing the damn right rotations that he's supposed to. I don't know what's going on with Spo. I don't know if it's personal. I don't know if it's just outright stubbornness. But he has made his move that he gonna do what the hell he want to do no matter what. Jaime Jaquez could make one mistake, and Khalil Well can make one mistake. He'll take them out right away. I'm not Jaime Jaquez. No,
yeah, I was gonna say not Jaime.
Can make one mistake. Yeah, not Jaime, Jovic, and Khalil. One mistake. He'll take them out, won't put them back in. But Terry Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, or Duncan Robinson can just, rotten up the court. And he'll keep them in the damn game.
Yeah, but Big Tone, let me ask you this.
So, I'm not worrying about our roster. I'm not worrying about our roster per se. Now, I ain't going to be no fool. We could use at least another 6'10", 6'11", two-way player. And it ain't got to be no super guy. Just a two-way player. Didn't come for the cheap.
But who?
But
okay,
Spo got to change this foolishness.
I want to go to church with Big Tone.
Yeah, listen, not defending Spo, because I think Spo been horrible, and I think those players have been horrible. But to be honest with you, with the roster constructed, you take Jaime out and you take Terry. Who are we playing over them? Like that's the thing. Like we're playing Kashad.
I guarantee you.
That's the problem.
Yeah. You know what?
Hold on.
Have y'all seen? Hold on,
Trent. Put you in the boom room. Stop playing with me. Hold on. Listen, who do you go with them?
All right, so I would genuinely play Pell over both Terry and
he was
Jaime
injured.
Right now.
He was injured for a little while.
That's fair. I get it, but when Pell comes back, like if I had all three of them and I had a choice, Pell would be the first person I would choose. Burks, now that he's got some minutes, I can take him kind of off that list, but he would have been another one. I'm not playing Josh. Yeah, so Pell
gone, bro. I'm so tired.
There needs to be a consolidation trade. It's as simple as it gets. Like if they would, you got way too many fucking guards or non-playable dudes.
Here's the thing. If you sign them guys, then obviously they got something you like. So how the hell, if Terry and Jaime is shitting up the place, is no way in hell they can do worse than them. But
Ray,
how are we gonna know?
Ray, who did I tell you?
In 2022, how did we find Caleb? How did we find Caleb?
J. Cole.
How did we find
Through a backdoor deal?
Literally J. Cole.
No. I'm talking. No. My point is, how did we find Max Strus? He went 9-10 deep in that bench in 2022 because he took a chance. And coming out, taking that chance, what happened? He found the diamonds in the rough good enough to get us where we needed to go. First, number one seed, since y'all don't care about seeds, number one seed and to the Eastern Conference Finals. He got to do the same thing, man. You're signing these guys. Well, damn it, play them.
There's
How
only
you
one
force
lineup.
Terry Rozier if he's playing bad? I'm not saying they're going to be the king or the savior. But we don't know if you don't play him. Jaime is whatever's happening to Jaime ever since that injury. He ain't been right ever since that rookie injury. Jaime ain't been personally. He ain't been right since that rookie injury. So, but play him, Keyshawn, Christopher, man, play. We don't know. So play. Hell, you ain't trading. You ain't doing no trades. You ain't do. What else we got, bro?
Okay, hold on, Big Tone.
So play them guys.
Hold on.
See what they do.
Hold on. Go ahead, Daryl.
Oh.
The only lineup that will work, and I've said it since the summer, is Jimmy, Jovic, Tyler, Bam, Ware. That is the lineup that they can maximize defense. They can maximize play creation. They can put guys in the right spots. And if you notice, Jovic has been more on ball lately. Now he's playing better. Duh. They need the size. They need Bam to be able to play up higher in the system so Ware can play drop. They need Jimmy to be the 18-8-8 guy that we need and let him top. And you need to let Tyler skirt on the outside. That is the only lineup that will work, that maximizes what they have and gives them the most potential. That's it.
I think you lose a little bit of 3-point shooting in that, but like all around, like I understand what you're going.
No, but I'm talking.
I've been praying for that ever since they got him.
I'm talking about a base team. That's the base.
Yeah, no.
You can come in. You can come in and go small and do this. The death lineup stuff with Duncan, and then play small with Bam at the 5. You can do that, but that's not the base. You can do that 12, 15 minutes a game. You can't do it for 30 fucking 8.
Like honestly, one of the like
exactly.
I know everybody
exactly.
I know everybody hates Kevin, and like I know I've been sitting here kind of like dropping a bomb on Kevin.
Who hate Kevin? I don't hate
Kevin. There's a lot of people in the fan base that do, but like just the fact that they put Kevin out there who still understands the concept of how to properly rebound, and then allowed Bam to go out and play, defense at the top of the key. Like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that because again, it eliminates the, hey, let's drag Bam out to the top of the key. And then the tallest person for the Heat left on the court is 6'5" fucking, Tyler Hero trying to get a board or whatever. Like you need functional size on this team, and they have very little, and what very little functional size they do have, they will not play them together. And I don't understand that part.
Even at 38, 6 to 7 minutes, Kevin can fill that void for a minute. Now that's me. That's just me. That's just me thinking. Kev can steal 6-7 minutes because if you're not going to play these guys, if you're not going to get these you're getting these guys, you're just signing them and you just keep them over there on the bench. You're not going to play them, bro. We got to come up with something, man. The small ball shit. He wait just like yesterday's game. Now we know what Kev, he kept Kev out there. Wait till we got down by 13. He seen what Kevin couldn't hit the rim. He couldn't keep nobody in front of him, which I'm not even mad at Caleb. I get it. I understand but again, that ain't Kev's fault. That's a Spo fault. You sat there and watched them boys kill Kev. And you kept him out there. And then you wait till we get down 13. Now you want to bring somebody in. He does that. This is what I'm saying. You see?
Yeah.
Outside, the only thing saved Terry Rozier. The only thing saved Terry Rozier was the fact that he helped Tyler out at the end of the game. So I'm giving them a pass. But everything else prior to that, bro, you should be on the trade block right now. Whoever take you, McDonald's, Burger King, I don't care who take you.
I didn't even want Terry here in the first place, like before we even made the trade. So like, as much as like we don't want him here, he's here, bro. And until they fucking trade him away, I don't expect them to trade Terry Rozier away because I feel like they're just gonna.
So that's my thing, and like I said.
But for the most part,
like I said, I'm worried about sport and health.
Yesterday
Spo and health. Them
yesterday's
the only
game,
two things.
I think was the first time I actually agreed with Daryl all season on when it comes to Spo and these ridiculous lineups. Because yesterday, what the hell was that starting lineup rolling out? Like it was ridiculous.
Exactly.
You can't have Kevin Love on the floor starting with Bam anymore. It was cool 2 years ago, when they got him in the buyout and we started seeing it a little bit. Obviously, you want a guy taller with Bam to pair with, but once these guys get Kevin Love on defense, it's cookies every single time, and that's
Every
basically
time.
where the production drops for us. And when you take Kevin Love out, if you, like Jovic played very good yesterday, very like solid, very aggressive, and when he's getting boards, he can do that. He's a dynamic playmaker, at his best. But for the most part, like he still has trouble grabbing rebounds too. So even at his size, so my thing is like we do need to look at getting a serviceable big next to Bam. I think that's going to be the biggest key. It's either the serviceable big to get Bam his help that he needs, or get the dynamic playmaker that we finally need. But there's only so many dynamic playmakers that you're going to find at a good price for what the Heat can afford, not for what every other team can afford, for what the Heat can afford, because we can't afford
But
the most right now. We can't.
But you drafted a big.
But the problem,
You're right.
but the problem is, I don't have no problem. I think Jovic could be good. But you can't give Jovic 10, 20, 18 minutes one day, set him down for 3 games another day, give him 2 minutes the next day, set him for 4 games next day, then think he's supposed to come out and do that shit. Get the man consistency, and he will get it. You can see that he can play the game. But it got Spo is so inconsistent, man.
Tone, what church you go
so
to? I'm coming on Sunday.
with these guys.
What church you go to?
Huh?
I'm coming.
Church. Nah, I don't do churches.
You don't do church?
I mean,
I was going to First
nah,
Baptist.
I'm not. I'm spiritual. I'm spiritual, but I don't go into churches. I listen online now. I do my new birth. I'm here in Atlanta, so I listen to my new birth on.
Where in Atlanta?
I ain't been.
Where you at in Atlanta?
I'm in Stone Mountain. Yeah, I'm in Stone Mountain.
I'm from Gwinnett, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So, like I said, man, that's them the only 2 things I'll say again before I go. Spo's rotation and health.
No, that's not.
I
changing.
put my money on mine any day.
So how do we overcome that?
That's my fear. That's my only fear. That's it. And it's not the players. It's not our roster. It's Spo's rotation not changing. That's it.
So how do we overcome that though? Because I don't see that changing.
That's the $1 billion question. That's the $1 billion question.
You know what I mean? Like,
because if I had the answer, I sure would tell you.
How so far outside of Jimmy this year been fine. But rotations is just like, I don't know, man. It's terrible.
So, some nights they're good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it helps when everybody is actually contributing to their potential. Like if Duncan's hitting his threes, if he's going like 3 of 6, 4 of 7, whatever, you can get that 25 to 28 from Tyler. If you can get an engaged Jimmy where he might go off for 30, or he gets you like 20, 10, and 7, where he's just having that all-around game. You get Bam actually having a productive offensive game where he's actually efficient, not disrupting the flow of the offense, and actually being aggressive. Like, you got to have a lot of things go right at a certain point in time with this team, and that's the problem with it, is like night and day. Like, we're just seeing a whole lot of inconsistency from everyone, like Spo included, Pat included.
Yep.
Like, and mostly the only consistent thing that has been going on this year, and it's crazy to say after last year, But Tyler, he's just been the most the most consistent guy on the team. He's played all of the games this season, guys. Like, I can't stress that enough. It's just what we've seen from Tyler over his career. We've known he can shoot. We know he has the mid range. We know he can drive to the rim. But for him to put on that mass in the summer and then come in and actually like put together this all-star start of a season, like, it's going to help us, but we got to get Bam back up, and we also got to get Jimmy back in this lineup. And just because the more they play together, the more repetition it gets. Like, we could see a possible turnaround with this team, but they're not playing together on the court right now enough together due to, like, Jimmy being out and everything for us to see that.
Exactly.
David, why do you say that? Why do you say it's
Now,
crazy with Tyler?
Okay.
For Tyler?
Yeah, like what? Like, you think this is like an anomaly, or like you think
No. I'm saying crazy on the fact that he's played all 30 plus games this season. Daryl, that's my only thing. Because like it or not, Daryl, like the last few years he has not been healthy. Like, and it is what it is. Like, this season he's possibly turning around that narrative, but it also has to be consistent because we still got to finish the season.
Let me ask you a question.
No, go ahead.
I'm ready to say the same thing real quick.
Let me ask you a question.
Is it me? Is it me or do Jovic and Khalil look good together out there on the court? Do you think they play good together, Jovic and Khalil?
Jovic always looks good when he has the ball.
That's the question I was. Yeah.
Jovic always looks good when he has the ball because that's what Jovic does.
Definitely like their minutes together.
Okay,
I think they balance each other out a little bit, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, even with both of them on the floor, like, we're like the defensive rating is still bad. I'm just saying, like, you're not gaining too much. Although it is good to see Khalil Ware like take on a type of shot blocking presence that Miami hasn't had in that backup role for a couple years now.
So I shout this real quick, right? Because Tyler's our most consistent player right now.
Right now, yeah.
Playoffs is a different story, and you could say the injuries play a factor too. But he is a little bit inconsistent when it comes to the playoffs, and I probably won't count last year, but throughout his career, he's only averaging like 14 points a game. And if we want to win a championship, I think that's our main goal eventually. Do you trust Tyler in the playoffs?
What option is he?
I want to.
As long as he's available.
Yeah, especially at this point, like, if he continues at the rate he's going this season, which I don't see like his like efficiency all that like dropping off a cliff or anything. Like, he changed his shot diet. He did the things that the team asked. He confidently gets to the rim now. He's more decisive. I don't think all that's going to change. But I need him to be available. Like, it's as simple as it gets. Like, if we get to the playoffs and we, make it out of the play-in and all that nonsense, I think the kid's going to ball out. I don't see any reason why not. Like, one of the things that I've noticed this season is Tyler always struggled with length, like, or any type of athleticism on the defensive end. If you threw somebody who had a long wingspan, a little bit more athleticism than Tyler, he was going to struggle to get to the rim. This year, I've seen they sent Asar, they sent Amon. Teams have sent, multiple really good defenders. I think that the Hawks sent, what's his name? Jalen Johnson at him. And Tyler's succeeded. He's been able to get to the rim. So I think that all that's going to translate into the playoffs, even when, defenses get tighten up, schemes get tighter, rotations kind of tighten, or they get smaller. But he's just got to be available. That's as simple as it gets. Like, as long as he's healthy, I genuinely think this will be the year that kid balls out. But, I'm sorry. He's got to be available, but so do Jimmy and fucking Bam too. Like, if they're not there, like, I kind of don't. Right. It's kind of irrelevant to me.
Is it concerning? Is it concerning to you? Like, and I agree. Hold up. I agree. He needs to be available, right? But they're so far twice in the postseason, and this is when he was a little bit younger and stuff. He played 21 games, 2019, 2020, and then 15 in 2021. So he struggled both years. So I'm just the other years he played 4. They're all injuries, right? But the 2 years that we seen, he has struggled, right? And and everything that you said, I agree. Like I want him to succeed. Like you could like I was one of those people that like, yo, I don't want this dude. He can't stay healthy. He can't perform in the playoffs. But he proved me wrong, and I'm one of his biggest fans this year. But playoff intensity is different, and you brought up Jalen Johnson, all these defenders. But it is a little bit different when you're watching him for 7 straight games because you're locked in on one team. You know, one night he might go off, or well, he's usually going off. But you know, defenders, they're not going to put too much film on the guy. They're gonna whatever. But for a playoff series against the Celtics or like the Knicks, and then when I say the Knicks, I'm talking about just the length purposes for like OG, Mikal. Those games scare me. Jaylen Brown, and those are the teams we're gonna have to beat. The Sixers, Bucks, I'm not too worried about. But like for that, like, are you worried about that? Like, I know you said you just want him healthy, but does that not scare you a little bit? Like those
only if I don't have Jimmy. Like if I have the engaged Jimmy Butler that I've watched plow through some of these playoff series, like he actually was the second coming of Michael Jordan, or even if I get like 85% of that Jimmy, then no, I'm actually not that scared. Because like the other thing too is like I've seen Jimmy multiple times step up. I've seen Bam in playoff series step up. Like I'm not worried about those guys. Like if I have those two dudes to take off some of that pressure and to try to, you know, kind of like change how like defenses have to operate because of one of them, whatever, so on and so forth, then no, not really. Like a lot of this is a team effort thing. Like I get what you're asking too. Like a lot of this is going to boil down to like Tyler himself. Like, if you're good in the playoffs, okay, we can work with this. We might be able to go far, but like it's also a team effort for me. So if I do have Jimmy, an aggressive Jimmy, an engaged Jimmy, whatever, playing next to this Tyler Hero, then no, not really. I don't worry about him.
Let me respond to this dude, W55. W55 and talking about bench Tyler. I can see it, you making it known that riding home from the bus, you used to lick the bus window on the way home. Talking about benching some damn Tyler Hero. Yeah, man, sit down, man. You're a troll. It's clear you're a troll, bro. Real talk. So sit down, man. With that foolishness.
It happens all season long.
You know what's crazy about this? What he said. We won't do that now, but there was a point in time when our roster was better constructed. I actually thought about this. Bench Tyler for sure.
No, and those are like
no, because that was a legit thing back then.
Daryl is
it was a legit argument.
I'm telling you right now, we had arguments for the last 2 years about whether Tyler should start, whether Tyler should come off the bench, because the numbers when he comes off the bench are I'm just saying. Besides this year, we're just being honest.
That's a good save. Very good save.
He has been better off the bench in his career than he has been as a starter. The numbers back it up, and it's good now that he's thriving in this role this year. And that's why when it comes to your question about if he can sustain this and do this in the playoffs when it matters most, like I think this mature Tyler going into a series, I would trust him to be like the extra scorer that we need in these playoff series. Because don't get me wrong, the times that he was out, there were a couple games where we would be like, Tyler would do really good in these games. We feel like not like the Nuggets series, like the drop and everything that the Nuggets played, Tyler would have been perfect for that series. I'm not saying like we end up winning the championship or whatnot, but I feel like we have a puncher's chance better with Tyler in because he's going to attack the drop and he can shoot it too. So I would say I'm confident in him going into playoff series and him actually like being successful, even though in recent years we just haven't seen that.
Yeah. So for the new dude, you want to answer that question?
Yeah, because there was a time where Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the new dude that joined the thing. I can't see her name. Sorry. Can you talk? Oh,
Go
brother.
ahead, bro. Go ahead. You good?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good.
Okay, yeah, my bad for the late check-in. Um, no, I just wanted to kind of give my little input, brother Noomsy here, Sports Time Zone. Um, and I don't want to crap all over the team because I'm a diehard fan since the '90s. I've loved my squad, but it seems as though the issues that we have with the team seems like it's recurring issues. Pretty much the same weakness that we had last season. I'm noticing the same thing this year. Lack of size, lack of real point guard uh, quarterbacking, lack of leadership on the court. There's been some lackluster decisions made by Coach Spo. You know, shout out to Spo, but some of his decision making and his play calling and his scheming and his personnel usage has been left a lot to be desired. I know I'm coming in late, so I don't know what you guys already discussed. But I will say that our bright spot and the positive aspect and look that I see is what Khalil Ware. I love what I'm seeing from him. I would love for Spo to implement him a little bit more into the rotation. I do like Terry Rozier coming off the bench a little bit more than starting. However, we desperately need a starting caliber point guard. I think that kind of moved the needle for us. Bam Adebayo, I love Bam. God bless his soul. But I think he's been playing out of position for the duration of his career. If we could find a way to pair him with Khalil Ware and get a little bit more size, I think that'll help move the needle as well. But that's my chime in. But I'll kind of piggyback off of you guys and let you
Noomsy, we can
continue.
be friends. Me and you, we can be friends. I like you already.
All right.
And let me, King, my man King E in the chat. He hit it right on the damn head, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the small ball is killing us.
Mm-hmm.
Bam is out at the perimeter.
Yeah, I know. I talk about this.
You got Terry Rozier protecting the paint.
Yeah.
I talk about this consistently.
That's
It's
it. I
either
ain't got Cinema. Nephew King E.
Terry
explain.
Rozier, Jaime Jaquez, Haywood Highsmith. All those guys are sitting right there under the rim, and you expect us, realistically, like fans are like so like down on our rebounding. No fucking shit, bro. Because when Bam has to contest those shots at the rim, or he has to contest those shots at the three, those are your next smallest guys.
Fidelio, it's not outdated, but you can't do it permanently. And I'm fixing to parent Daryl like directly here. Like, if you're gonna do it 100% of the time, it's not gonna fucking work. And on top of that, too, like the way that Spo plays small ball, we don't have the players for it to work properly.
Nope.
So it's like it's a very broken thing when you watch us play small ball, and it's like, oh, okay, this sucks. Let's not do it. You can do. I promise you, if you want to play 20 minutes of small ball a night, cool, fine, that's great. But when you do it 40, 45, 48 minutes a night, you're gonna lose because. And again, parroting Daryl here, and a lot of other people will say this too. When you lose the rebounding battle in the NBA, you're probably going to lose the game.
Oh yeah.
And if you are the smallest team on the court consistently, 82 games a night, you're going to have a really hard time winning the rebounding battle. And in turn, you're going to have a really hard time winning games. Like, people always get mad about the third quarter and shit like that. Like, you want to know how to solve some of that? Eliminate the second chance points that these guys get and finish off some of these defensive possessions. And then you know what you can do in turn? Get in transition, which is what the Heat actually do best. It's kind of funny when they're not operating solely out of the half court. So yeah, if you put some size, again, functional size back on this team, and to Eli's point, stop allowing them to drag Bam out to the perimeter so they can just bomb away from three. If they make it, they make it. They don't care because they know they've got like a 65, 70% chance to generate a second chance bucket or an opportunity because, well, their tallest person is 7 feet tall and he's still under the rim, and ours is contesting a step back fucking three, because that's what they do to Bam every single time.
Yeah.
So,
If we see this, well, that's all real quick. If we see this and we're not even the coach, that's a problem. Like, this is a problem. Like, why doesn't Spose realize this? Like, Spose is supposed to be like one of the masterminds of this league, and he just doesn't realize. He's so he's just
Stubborn.
like
I'm gonna go to Daryl's.
But I think I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you. I think that's the gift and the curse with Spo. The exact reason that you just said is the reason I think he refuses to come off of that. Like, he knows that he's this basketball genius and he's being praised for his paralysis and his culture and his X's and O's and his execution of coming out of timeouts and all of these things. So when someone is praised that to that level and has had the success that he's had so early in his career, I think it made him stubborn. It made him stubborn to a fault, to like, I'm going to force this to work. I'm going to force this to work. I'm going to continue doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. To echo my man, I could see why you said we're going to be good friends, because I definitely feel you on that. The fact that we are so small, it forces us to play zone so much. We're known for playing more zone than any other team in the entire NBA. And that's not just because Spo's a mastermind. It's because the team is so small that there's no possible way that we're going to have a chance playing against larger teams unless we play that zone.
Yeah, covering the deficiencies.
And then we play a backward zone, whereas most teams put their guards up top and then their bigs down low. We reverse it. Our zone has our bigs up top. And then to your point, we got Terry Rozier and freaking and guards down low trying to box out and get rebounds. And that's not a formula to win.
They let the back cuts go every single time, and it's just easy buckets. You're allowing guys that are wings to get those mismatches on a guy like Terry Rozier, on a guy like Jaime Jaquez, like Duncan Robinson, even Tyler at times. Like, these guys get taken advantage of really fast if they're not getting their hands on that ball once they get in those passing lanes. Like, if we do not generate steals, if we do not generate turnovers, it is rough watching this defense operate sometimes. And that's with Bam on the floor at times too. Don't get it twisted. Like, Bam might be the saving grace when it comes to the defensive end, but there are times where he's on the floor and we're still getting dominated in certain parts. And that goes to a lot of this zone you're talking about, because at the end of the day, this is the worst year I've seen us play zone in this whole Jimmy era. Like, the zone this year is completely ineffective for the most part. At least
too many young guys playing in it.
I'm not sure if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, but when I'm watching this zone this year in particular, we're just getting out hustled, out rebounded. It's putting us in bad positions. And to your point about Spo, when we're talking about this, genius of a coach and everything, I'm just being honest. When we're talking about him coaching at Team USA and stuff, we're lucky that he's lucky that he has guys like Steve Kerr and everything for the offensive end, because that's just not where he thrives. And don't get me wrong, late game execution, over the years, he's been good at it. But over the last couple years, he's dipped off in those categories. The clutch play, he's dipped off a little bit in those categories. And that's due to not just your roster reconstruction, but just his decisions alone also as a coach.
He's not a good in-game coach, bro. He's horrible, to be honest with you. He's good when he's got time to prepare. He's good on timeouts. He's good on when he's in the playoffs where he's got time to scout. But in-game coaching, he's friggin' horrible. And we all know he's an offensive idiot.
Yeah, I just need him to stop this. I got pills next to me, man, with him and the small balls, man. I ain't got time.
Everybody's coming to my side,
bro. I am so.
But I think it is outdated.
That's the best part.
I think it is outdated, though. It was a thing. It came in. Everybody was doing it. It was like, oh, small ball, let's do it. But since that time has come and gone, other teams have evolved from that. If you look at the playoffs last year, all but maybe 2 or 3 teams all had at least one 7-footer in their starting lineup. Out of all the playoff teams, we were one of maybe one or two others. But to be honest with you, I don't think Spo wants to conform to. He doesn't want to concede that small ball is over and it's dead. He doesn't want to concede to that.
I don't think it's over. You can't play this shit 48 minutes a game.
You can't, that's
the biggest problem.
Not with the personnel that we have.
No, I don't know. I don't think you can do it. Period in today's league. But I don't like the idea of saying it's outdated because again, there's a place for it. Like. It's a situational thing that 1,000% can work.
If they got the personnel, teams like Golden State with Curry, or teams like us when we had LeBron, D-Wade. But if you don't have that type of personnel, it ain't gonna happen.
But even like Golden State now, they don't run small ball 48 minutes a game. Like that's the thing that I'm trying to get at is like I don't care that Spo plays small. That shit don't bother me. It's fine, whatever. But if you're gonna do it 48 minutes a game, go get better personnel to do this shit, or for God's sake, play Jovic and Bam as the big men. I get it. Jovic is just a 7 foot tall wing, but he is 7 feet tall and can do something about just adding size.
Exactly.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah. But my thing with the small ball is, let's take Orlando. He'll see that the average player out there is 6'10", 6'11". But he'll stay small. That's what ticks me off.
Yeah, he doesn't match up well.
He don't match. He don't do no matching, bro.
He's a bad in-game
coach. That's all I want to say.
So let me ask y'all this, right? And these are just questions to see what y'all think. When y'all look back at the draft, and I'm not saying Chloe or anything like that, but when you see players like Jared McCain have a great season, when you see all these other players get drafted ahead of Ware, do you ever regret? Let me not say regret because we just haven't seen enough from Ware, but like Spo doesn't play young players, it just seems like, unless you're Jaime, Jovic, and Ware. Would you rather take a guard because we lack that, or you still would have went with the same pick and Ware? And just it's a tough question to ask because we haven't seen him really develop. But would you rather win a guard that position or kept the center?
You just answered it. He doesn't play those guys, so
it's
the difference.
Hindsight makes it.
I'm ready to log off.
Go ahead.
Log off. Let me answer that real quick because I'm ready to go. And I appreciate y'all for having me on, man. But no, I think personally, if Spo will go ahead and let him play, I think we won the draft. If Spo let that boy play, I really do. Now it's up. We got to see it, but I honestly believe everybody clicked out. I honestly believe we won the draft. So no, I'm glad we got Wire. I think it's gonna turn out to be good. It's just whenever Spo release him. But I gotta go, gentlemen. Big Tone Open Sports Talk, man. I appreciate Nephew Trent and Montel, man, and Ariel, man, all y'all, man. Look, go over. Y'all see Die Hard Miami, man. That's what I do, man. Big Tone Open Sports Talk, man, on everything. All my what they call X, Twitter, whatever the hell it is. Big Tone Open Sports Talk, man. I appreciate each and every one of you guys, man.
Big Tone for sure, Big Tone. I'm gonna come check you. I'm gonna look out for you.
You still a bum.
Hey, what I say about the Magic, they'll be better than us.
Every day 305.
305 all day.
Trent, to answer your
305, man. I do too.
Yeah, but,
all right, y'all be safe, man.
Trent, to answer your question, I'm still fine with him drafting Ware because, like, even to like the point where you talked about where it's like, oh, well, Spo doesn't play those guys. He wouldn't have. I don't think McCain would have gotten minutes, and I don't think like somebody like Connect, because I know he was another dude that people like kind of tossed out there, would have gotten minutes because we're so freaking guard heavy anyway. I mean, there were points when we were begging to not play Josh Richardson and play Alec Burks and so on, play Pell Larson, so on and so forth. Like, I don't think they ever would have got to the point where they were like, yeah, let's draft another guard, especially knowing, hey, we've always had a hard time signing somebody who can play as our backup center. And we don't have any functional depth or any functional size outside of Bam and Jovic. So them drafting any type of big man, I'm okay with. And to Tone's point before he left, like, I just wish they would play him more. That's it. Like, I don't care about if he sucks. Okay, fine, he sucks. I'll take that. I'm not mad at that. But play him anyway, so I can know that he fucking sucks.
Yeah, I mean, to Ray's point, I mean, you definitely got to get that guy some minutes so you could figure out what you truly like have in him, especially like getting him consistent minutes, consistent reps. Even if it's with like the backups and everything, like you need him to like stay engaged. Like he's a little like, I'm happy that we got him because obviously, like, we've gotten guys like Deadman and Thomas Bryant the last couple years, and like Cody Zeller. So, like, obviously, like filling like that backup role with someone fresh, new, like on the scene, someone that you can grow and develop. Like, obviously, that's great. But would you rather have like a ready now player that's going to contribute at a high level like right now, especially like you can put him possibly next to Bam? Like obviously we want that, but instead you drafted it and you're not even trying to, get to see what you actually have in him. So like he does need to play more. But Miami's had I get like the question because like Miami's had a couple of drafts where you could have drafted like this person. Everyone always gonna bring up the Tyrese Maxey draft and everything. So like obviously that's always gonna be a burden question, but I think we made the right choice in getting Ware because you just you just been in poverty in that backup big position for a while now.
There we go. Then ask you a question. I have another question. There, you can go.
No, go ahead. You guys touched on it.
Okay. So another question would be, right, if Spo and you can be like, well, it's his rookie season, but if Spo's not playing Ware now and Spo doesn't want to play bigs with Bam, why do we think next season he will or the season after he will? That's the question.
You're asking basically why do we think he'll play Ware next year?
Yeah, like what? Because I get the development of a rookie, but if I'd rather you get reps now and learn as much as possible, because I'm looking at all these other guys that are not that great coming from that draft. They're playing and they're on a better team or as worse team. We're a mid-pack team, so I just feel like, example, like if you're a Celtics, like I get why you're not playing. They have their set rotation, but it's like we don't really have a set rotation because we're inconsistent with different rotations every day. So why is he not getting an opportunity? If he messes up, cool, don't play him. But it's just like he's going to grow from this year, and the next year they're just going to mysteriously, okay, Bam and Ware, now we're going to play them together. Like, so why do you think it's going to change?
All right, so my first thing, and like I'm not sure people will agree with this sometimes, but like he's not strong. Like he might be strong because he's 7 feet tall and he's a big dude, but like he's not NBA strong. He's literally like a string bean out there. And I do think that you give him, a year, 2 years in any type of NBA development program, any type of strength and conditioning program of NBA caliber like that, and like he will buff up and he will beef up to be what they really truly need him to be, which is kind of like an older style, old school type of center, if you will. Yeah, he can stretch the court and all that stuff, but like they need him to go down there and rebound and be a bigger guy. And it's kind of hard to do that, especially when, from what I like, when I hear like his draft like comp and how everybody like they scouted him and all that, is basically like he was just kind of the better player on the court at all given point in time. It wasn't ever like he had to like actively try. He just was, and he's always worked on that. And I think he got to the NBA. They understood this. They were like, "You'll be a project. You fit within Bam's timeline," and they said, "Okay, we don't really want to play you unless we have to." Then they realized we're going to have to because Kevin is fucking 4,000 years old and basically unplayable at this point. But if you can build up this kid's strength and kind of find him some reps, even if it's consistently through practice for a whole year, and we give you what is it? Good build good habits, practice habit, all that nonsense. Next year, like I genuinely like that kid will be like full on NBA ready next year for sure. Like I don't think that he's like outright NBA ready. I think there's teams and players that will just run him off the court. I don't think that his defensive IQ is as great as everybody thinks. I see a little bit of Hassan Whiteside in the kid. He sells out for blocks a lot. That's not necessarily a bad thing because I think he can get a lot of them. And I think he is smarter than Hassan. But there's certain things about him that I felt like the Heat, once they drafted him and they were really okay, let's break all this down. I think there's some shit that they said we're gonna break you of first before we play you, and we'll see how it goes. And I think we're at that point. So they broke him of some of the bad habits. We're trying to see what it is, and if we need to add size, obviously we need to add size. That'll come next year, but as long as he just doesn't play like trash, he's completely terrible and not serviceable at all, he'll get minutes next year. It's because it's pointless to draft the kid and then try and develop him. And then if you don't play him at all this year, just don't play him at all next year. If you drafted him, what did we take him? 14th, 15th, something like that, 17th, whatever. It is genuinely pointless to draft somebody that high and then not play them 2 fucking years in a row. That's just stupid. Bad business practice altogether.
Well, I know he wasn't drafted that high and everything, but look what they've done with Jovic.
Same shit. They've done it.
Jovic played. Jovic played his rookie year, and he played tiny bits.
It's been far inconsistent with the play. We talked about it earlier, even with the guards, because we're so guard heavy. We weren't even sure if we were going to see Pele play this year.
They stood on the Kevin thing. I think they were wrong about that. They shouldn't have.
They shouldn't have let it.
Go ahead.
At the buyout, it was the right move. What he did when he came in, he definitely was serviceable with the rebounding, the outlet passing, and a lot of other things that he would do right. But for the most part, when it came down to it, you ran him a year too long now.
Yeah, that's where I'm with you. Yeah, 100%. Because the other thing too is even when you try to add another type of backup big or whatever, it was fucking Thomas Bryant. Okay. And that was basically as pointless as this Kevin Love is now. They just kind of banked too long on some of their bigger, the bigs working out, and now their hand is kind of forcing to have to play where. So I think it'll continue.
You're discussing this, and it's all back to the same thing. It's all Spo. I keep telling you guys. It's all Spo. You're concerned about minutes, it's Spo. You're concerned about how long it's taking to get them into playing shape, it's Spo. You're talking about why is this guy we drafted in Sioux Falls, it's Spo. You're talking about small ball, it's Spo. Dude, everything you're talking about is Spo. We can talk about why and this and that. It's all based on him and his inability to have a good offense.
Daryl, do you want to fire? This is a serious question because
I was just about to ask y'all that. I was just about to ask you that for conversation purposes only. What do you do with Spo in the state? Obviously, realistic, he ain't going nowhere.
There's nothing you can do.
There is. They're gonna. First of all, one of the assistants has to go. I don't give a shit who. I don't care how. One of the assistants has to go, and then the assistant that comes in to replace him is just strictly offensive minded assistant to just help. You know what I'm saying? Just here's a little bit of insight because Spo can be stubborn all he wants to, but I guarantee you he's not so ignorant to the situation that he's I bet an offensive minded coach would be useful to my arsenal. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you say that, Ray? They just drafted a big and he won't play him. So what makes you think if they go hire a Sam Cassell or they hire, Dan Craig back or whatever, whatever, why do you think he's going to change any of that?
Well, no. Well, I don't. Okay, first of all, hang on. First of all, I don't think that. I'm answering the question that he asked is what do you do? That is what you do. I'm not saying he would go for that shit, but me, that's exactly what I do. I go get an offensive-minded assistant. I assume you're going to say, there's nothing to do other than fire him because he's stubborn.
No,
or move him up to the front office.
You can't. You can move him up to the front office. That obviously that's that's obviously going to be the next step for Spo. There's no doubt in my mind that he's going to stick with this organization for as long as possible. They're going to keep him at the helm as long as possible until they find the right guy that they actually want to take over for Spo. Spo's going to go with the Brad Stevens route, move up into that position. But right now, with what you're dealing with, it is what it is at this point. We've seen it over years, but I don't see anything changing anytime soon. But guys, I gotta go. I appreciate you guys for having me on, and yeah, we got to do this.
Hey, hold on 1 second, David. Hold on 1 second, guys. Once again, thank you guys for coming on the show. We did go, like an hour and 20. We can always revisit this again. Please, guys, plug all your information. Guys, I already told Daryl. You guys, he doesn't have a YouTube channel. All right, you guys can find him on Twitter. But Trent, just shout out your channel, and then we're gonna go around real quick.
Yeah, Miami Heat Network, road to 5K, top notch, road to 15K. Yeah, y'all know who it is, man. And mind you, for everybody on the panel, when I go back and forth with y'all, that's all for content purposes. Don't take it serious.
Hey, it's all good, brother.
Go ahead, David.
At DFarrell15 is where you can follow me on Twitter, and then also you can follow at Playbook SN for all of our good content at Playbook Sports.
Ray?
Yep, I'm with Daryl. I'm with David. Except this is mine at RAY5893, and I also run the betting account for Playbook, so that is at Playbook SN Bets. Same thing on Blue Sky too.
Daryl?
Appreciate you, Martel.
I appreciate you, bro.
I am the herdman of sheep. You can find me on Twitter there, and you can find me most nights with Ray and David on Playback on the Spaces.
Now, Anthony, I know that you just joined in real quick, but do you have anything?
Yeah, what I was gonna ask actually, there's rumors that we might target De'Aaron Fox. Is there a way we can get him by doing a 3-team trade?
That's if they want to get off Jimmy Butler, but that's for a whole new conversation. Anthony, please join us the next time because, like I said, we all really have to bounce. Thank you though for coming on the show, and guys, hit that subscribe button, and thank you guys for all.